Ladies and gentlemen, friends, colleagues, and anybody listening to these podcasts, here we are, end of the first year. Well, I say end of the first year. It's the end of the year, and we're going to reflect a little bit on the podcasts that have been done. I'm here with another old veteran of the industry, and somebody who was here right at the very beginning who asked me why I wanted to do it and what we were going to cover, etc. So he's back again, Mr. Russell Williams.
Thank you very much. And again, just to reiterate, Happy New Year to everybody.
Yeah, and to you, my friend, and
Thank
to
you.
Everybody out there, 2020, please God, I hope it's going to be a great year for everybody.
Good.
So, Rusty, apart from reminding me of the old days of Kevin Keegan and Henry Cooper, I see some of the family must have bought you a truckload of Brute.
Yeah, truckload of Brute, and also had a haircut as well because, like Kevin Keegan, it's going fast now, afraid.
But that's a powerful smell, isn't it?
That is a powerful smell.
I like it. It reminds me of the old changing rooms years and years ago.
It did. Always had a can of Brute in the changing room and in the kit bag, and now got about 10 of them in the cupboard at home, so going through them slowly. So
any youngsters who want to get your old mobiles out now and start looking up what is Brute, it's got nothing to do with a dog or an aggressive young man. It's a aftershave that was all the fashion,
all the rage, and it was
40 years ago.
Yeah, and what was the logo? Was it Splash It All Over, wasn't it?
Splash It All Over.
Splash It All Over. Oh, lovely.
Henry Cooper.
Right. Good. So then, looking back.
Yep.
2019. Yep. Obviously, you've had a great year. In fact, we both had a great year because, believe it or not, it was both our 60th. And
you're not supposed to say that.
And why not?
Well, I don't.
It's an age thing.
I know it is.
We've got to embrace it. I think we need to embrace our
people
our
think
60th.
we're younger than that.
Who?
Well, there's the odd one or two out there.
No, I think we both had a great year, which I'm sure we're going to touch on through the conversations that are coming up.
Yep.
But I mean, basically, highs and lows of the podcast last year. Let's just hit it straight in there and see what you're going to come up with.
Firstly, I have really, really enjoyed it. I've had some great fun, and I think it was a great idea. And I've also got to know Salem a lot better, and we've had some fun, we've had some laughs. And we've met some incredible people, and I think that's the most important thing. The people that we've met and got to know better, it does go to show that this industry is a great industry, and so many common traits run through those people. Russ, it's a pleasure. Well, I think it's a pleasure to have met them, to have worked with many, and to have been at conferences with almost everybody, and to know them now that little bit better has been one of the nicest things that's happened in all the time that I've been in this industry.
Which is a lucky place to be, really, isn't it? I mean, would you think there's like common denominators that
huge
come across that once you've looked back on them and you think like, well, actually, that is a common denominator between so many varies of people and genres of the industry.
Yeah, no, huge. And I think what it is that the people that we chose to get to know, so the topic of the series was people behind the positions. They're all in positions where they give so much to their companies and to the industry. And one of the most common denominators was the fact that they all feel that they've worked too hard, and that their families would say they've spent too much time at work. But they all appreciate that to do what they do, they have to be there and be committed, and it's just part and parcel of what goes on. So for me, it's nice to share that same guilt platform with so many people, but also to see why they've done it and what they've achieved from it. So that's a common denominator.
Do you think that they feel appreciated? In fact, do you feel appreciated?
Hold on, that's a little bit deep now. We just started.
I just thought, when you mentioned appreciation, I thought, is that a common denominator that people don't feel appreciated?
No. I think most of the people that we had on, they all feel that they've achieved certain things because of who they are, what they believe in, and also people that gave them a chance. Yeah. So I think one of the most common things, every single person we've had on, they all gave reference to people that gave them a chance, supported them, opened the door for them, was continually there to support them. And I think that had an impact on them so much that they then wanted to do the same. And one of the things that we wanted to put across is as you go through life, as you go through an industry or a career, one of the nicest things as you leave it is that you give something back. Otherwise, what you've accumulated is such a waste.
Which is what we said in our the original opening, the original podcast, was that it's all about trying to give something back, because although people don't appreciate it because of the industry it is, the people that have been in it appreciate it, and they're the ones that feel that there is something to give back.
Yeah, and otherwise it's like having a bank account that you never use.
Yeah,
and it's such a shame. But what I would say as well is it also reflected on so many people who do so much that don't get appreciated. So all the operational guys and girls, the people who do the shifts, the weekends, the bank holidays, the night work, all of those people who, if they do their job well, they've done a good job.
Because it's part of the chain, and people don't realise that those links in that chain are so important. Yeah. And when they go, and when they, when they're broken, how it affects the the whole operation and the whole industry. Yeah.
And if they make mistakes, they get blamed.
Yeah.
And I think
singled out.
Yeah. And I think people should, especially the senior managers, you should sometimes realise that you can do so much as a captain of a ship, but if the engine room isn't working, and people aren't doing what they should be doing on the ship, then you're in a very dangerous piece of equipment that God knows where you're going to end up or what damage you're going to do.
And mate, that goes back to one of our initial things we said about teamwork. It's not it's not just something you say because that's the buzzword to say, like team. No. It's the fact of it is you have to work as a team, and if you're working as independents and individuals, it don't work.
No, exactly. It's like same as sports, isn't it?
Yeah, it is exactly.
Yes, also leadership. How important it is to be a good inspirational leader and not just a robot or a piece of machinery. And people want to work for good people.
Yeah.
People have to work, so they will work for anybody. But people would like to work for good people. And good leaders are people who know that things will be done when they're not there, and also that inspire people to do things when they're not there. And
but good leaders inspire good leaders. So you have to pass that on, and that's what we were saying about the industry when we first did the initial podcast. Is that how do you keep the industry moving? How do you keep the industry flowing? How do you keep good people in there? How do you inspire them to stay in there? How do you get new people? It's such a difficult, and it's been a difficult thing for years and years.
It is. But it's getting even worse now, and now whether you want to call them disruptors or innovators, whatever the buzzword is from, the industries are changing and people are being more creative now, and people want to get into transportation and the whole logistics process. So they're going to drive change as it is. And we've got so many challenges now. We've got all the issues now with undeclared dangerous goods, with lithium batteries, with e-commerce. Who really knows what they're doing with e-commerce? Is it mail? Is it what is it? How do you store it? What do you do differently? Do you invest or not? So huge amounts of challenges, which needs fresh minds and new approaches. So we spoke about that. Good people as well, same as conferences. Companies should actually spend some money by bringing young people who are part of their succession plan to these conferences and let them see what goes on. Let them have a better appreciation before their time comes when they have to represent those companies at those conferences. So people should spend a little bit more of their budget on bringing new people and not the same old faces to these conferences who, with the greatest respect, a lot of them might not contribute what they should do.
No, I agree. And also it's all about getting down to the basics of how you spread the word. How do you spread the word when the same people are coming to these conferences? How do you spread the word down to the lower levels of your operation? Because it doesn't matter how good your communication and your internal communications are with companies, it doesn't get down.
Yeah, no, you're right.
People don't even know that there's conferences going on.
No, at the last few, and I've got to say, Steve Pullman's was one. He put forward quite a few of his youngsters, and they were absolutely superb. A young lad and a young lady. They were really, really, really good. And you learn from. It doesn't matter how old we are. You're saying we're 60.
Yeah, exactly.
You learn from these young people, and I think it's fantastic.
Yeah, but you were saying about fresh minds and fresh ideas and innovations. They've got to come from young people, because so many other people are not stuck in their ways because they're good. They are good people as well. But you need fresh minds and fresh ideas.
No, and I think it's like sport as well. You look at football or rugby now. Like there's a Wales international who's going to be in the Six Nations. He's only 18 and he scored 9 out of 10 games. and they're going to give him a chance.
Yeah.
Look at soccer.
Yeah.
There's 17-year-olds, 18-year-olds playing alongside 33, 34 veterans. They're able to do it and do it well, and that's how people learn.
Yeah, but a lot of them are. I mean, to be fair, like if you look at if you look at football in general, I mean, a lot of those aren't given a chance, and it's only because of circumstances that they actually come in and they grab the chance that they're given.
Same as business.
And they run with it. Yeah,
Somebody
same
leaves.
as business. Someone leaves, and then it's all about budgets, and then getting someone in there, and they can't afford it. They take one of the youngsters in and move them up the ladder, and then they become
a superstar.
Yeah.
Yeah,
exactly.
There's a lot of superstars out there, and they just need to be given the opportunity. Another thing that came across is about coaching and mentoring, and making time for the next generation or for people who are in a succession phase, and giving them the time. So, all in all, some great characters.
But it's identification of talent and nurturing talent. I mean, that's what you've got to have. And some people have it, some companies have it, some don't have it. But the annoying thing, I think, possibly for us and for our generation, is that we can see some of that as being outsiders looking into companies and people that we've worked with and in our industry, and we've travelled the world, and
It's like when you do audits.
Yeah, you see people, and you see really good people, and you think, why aren't you nurturing these people? Because they've got something special.
But that comes back to a chapter that I said was in the book, and we're going to cover probably when we win the lottery or when we decide that's it.
Yeah.
Dicks, pricks, twits and twats. And there's so many of them still in the business. Many of them still in the business, unnamed and unshamed. But one day.
We won't care, mate. Hey?
One day when that's it.
We won't care, litigation. We don't care.
That's it.
So, I mean, getting back to, obviously, when you first had the idea, when you first sort of started it, I mean, I know you said, how do you think it went? Because, what were your expectations, and did they fulfil?
More so, Russ.
Yeah.
I thought it would just be something that Salem and myself did. And for anybody who doesn't know Salem, I'm going to do a little session with him as well one day. And for those of you, he's the technical genius behind all of this, and he's currently sitting on top of a radiator because he's as cold as ice. So once you thaw out, Salem, we'll get you on.
We'll pan around and show him.
Yeah. No, but seriously, when we started, we weren't sure. We just thought maybe people will be interested, a few will like it and stuff. But the numbers have been absolutely phenomenal. And whether or not it's because people have got a lot of traffic to and from work and they sit and listen to it, or they're on planes or whatever, but the cross-section of people that have been in touch who said that they enjoy it and they enjoy getting to know people that they never really knew what they were or who they were, it's been really, really rewarding.
But even if you don't know them in the industry, you know that you've heard of their name, but to actually get a little bit of up close and personal with someone is something a lot of people in our industry don't.
Yeah.
And you're going back to what you said about the operational people, getting to know like sort of senior people. You may be in an operation you've never met your senior people.
Yeah, that's true.
And to listen to something like this actually gives you an insight in in your own operational people, in your own the people who are leading your industry.
No, you're right, Russ. And also to listen to the people just talking.
Yeah.
Not necessarily about a subject matter that's been predetermined or in normal business, and to see what their values and their qualities are. I've been really, really impressed with a lot of people. And so many different senses of humour.
Yeah.
From the different cultures, different nationalities. That's also been good.
Which you may not have known because of just seeing someone at a conference or seeing someone on a business level, not on more of a personal open up level.
Yeah. So whether it's valid Corey who was confident enough to put a pair of bunny ears on and carry all through it, and he was quite controversial. That was good. And then there was Stephen from Liège, who was such an entertaining, nice man. I thoroughly enjoyed that session, and I'm looking forward to doing another one with him. So he was up for it, and many others. So there was also Mervyn Walker, who is always entertaining. But Mervyn, one of the things that we do have, my friend, and it's a little Christmas gift to you, is we've got a little blooper or bleeper session, and when the time's right, I shall send it to you, Mervyn. So, but thanks for coming on. That was brilliant.
Again, another one after the watershed.
Yeah, after the water. Oh, talking about the watershed.
Yeah.
The two people that I desperately wanted to have on, desperately wanted to come on, was Rupert Batstone and Dave Ambridge. Rupert, because he's a genuine he wears his heart on his sleeve and he says what he thinks. and I find it very direct, very interesting, very humorous. So I would love to have him. I know he won't come on because he's a little bit shy when it comes down to it, but I would love him on. But Mr. Ambridge has agreed to come on, and it's going to be an unplugged after 9:30 Watershed series, and he promises to let it all hang out.
Brilliant.
Yeah, so he's going to come on.
Look forward to that.
Yeah, he'll be on in the new year. And
maybe he could persuade Rupert to come on.
I'd love to have the two of them on together. They're great lads.
Well,
both of them really, really, really good fellas. I've enjoyed working with them both.
Uncut with Rupert and Dave.
Yeah. They're like the two Ronnies.
Rupert and Dave, over to you. No,
I'd love to get them on.
No, that'd be good. So obviously people you've mentioned there. What about the key points that have you think have come out over all the sessions?
The key points are how many good, capable, qualified people there is in the industry, how devoted, how proud they are of working within the industry, and the amount of opportunities that they genuinely see, and their focus to customer service, to varying degrees of safety, security, the key issues that are important for the industry, and the fact that the industry is in good hands with some of the people that we've met, and I think it's great for anybody who works for the same company. Yeah, it's great for youngsters thinking of coming into the industry to see that there are such good people in there, and some of the statements and some of the direct, nothing has been tried beforehand, so nothing's been rehearsed. They've been brilliant, absolutely brilliant.
And do you think they're the sort of people that are going to effect change?
Yeah. I would be happy, of all the people that have come on, I'd be happy to pick like a Magnificent Seven or a group from the ones that have been on, and they could run any company in this industry and run it well. And they're good enough to do that. They're a great bunch of people.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, no, really. And I think in some industries you'd maybe struggle to get such a good cross section and genuine group of people, to do so. And that's one of the things with the aviation industry. Nobody, I don't think, well, there's very few sit down at school and say that's what I want to do. Oh. But once you're in, they very seldom leave.
They do. I mean, people just don't appreciate what a vast industry it is, really.
Yeah, and the effect
what corners of the globe that it covers.
Yeah, everywhere. And the opportunities it gives you to go abroad and to do whether it's from auditing abroad, or whether it's from working abroad, or whether it's working with people from different nationalities, different cultures, different religions, different pressures, every single thing. It's such a lovely way to learn about the world and people.
I mean, there's not that many industries where you could actually go global and say that if you've actually learned the basics of something, in your home country,
you can do it in any country.
You could do it in any country.
No, I agree. Yeah. No, I agree. That's
especially
fantastic.
If you're good, because if you're good, you can work and you can adapt and you can operate anywhere. And
Yep.
There's actually so many. Well, we know for the amount of countries that we travel, there's so many countries in the world they're actually crying out for, for people's assistance.
Yeah.
And
there is. There's also, sadly, too many places or too many people who don't know what they don't know, and they think they're better than. And there's nothing. There's nothing like experiencing something else and getting a little bit of knowledge and doing things in a different way and helping people, teaching
that's
people.
Right. I mean, some cultures don't want to be, some people don't want to be helped, but I mean, that's the difficulty is there is people that could actually go in there and help them.
But there's always people in their companies who do want to be helped. And it's certain people are either barriers or they're enablers. And the ones with the big egos are the ones who are doing the are the barriers.
Yeah, but I mean, it's how you break through those barriers, isn't it? I mean, blimey, how many barriers have we tried to break through? Jiminy crick.
Yeah.
Or hurdles. Sometimes we feel like David Emery, the amount of hurdles you got to jump over. But
it's crazy. Well, we had a session with a young lad who does leadership and everything. We were talking about why do many companies allow somebody with such negative characteristics and such negative influence over people? Why do they allow them to be in positions for as long as they are?
Yeah.
Because eventually they will go. Yeah. But the collateral damage of good people leaving and nice people being being just put upon,
Yeah.
it has such a bad effect on a company for a period of time. Then it takes a long time to recover from it. It's such a shame.
Well, we've had that personal experience over the last few months, haven't we?
Yeah. But what do you do?
Yeah, I know. Eventually, these people get, they get found out. But like you say, it's like cause and effect. I mean, what happens, what they've done, and what they've initiated takes like.
Yeah, it's like a rot. It's like a rot. Yeah.
Anyway, yeah.
2 year positive.
Yeah, good.
And we're saving that, as I said before, we'll save that one day.
Yeah.
So if the lottery numbers come up and people don't
It'll
hear from us,
they'll be pumped out. Yeah.
Yeah, dicks, pricks, twits and twats will be all over the place.
Yeah. So obviously, I mean, you're saying it lived up to more than
it's great.
Expectations.
Yeah, and some of the feedback and some of the comments and people who said that they've listened in and some of the people that have been on, they don't know how well appreciated their sessions were by so many people.
Yeah.
And I've had people quoting what some of them have said, how nice they were, how positive they were, what they'd like to work for those people, So it's done everybody who's been on, I think, some good.
That's good.
And for the industry as well.
Do you think a lot of them don't know how they're appreciated?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
And I think
which is a sad thing, really.
It is, but it's common in good people.
Yeah.
Good people do it because they want to do it, and it's part of how they are, and they don't look for
the
recognition
glory,
or the glory or the praise, and they're the ones who, maybe I think deep down, if you do a good job, you know that somebody appreciates you, and that's what has to keep you going. That's what motivates you.
Yeah, no, I agree. So I mean, you just touched on it there about people that have been listening to the casts, what they think about it and what the feedback is. So what's the general feedback? Is it?
The general feedback is...
Have you had any negatives? That's what I'm interested in.
Negatives?
Yeah. Have you had any people ring you up and say, what the hell are you talking about? You don't know what you're talking about.
To be honest with you, no. There was one instance where it was talking about somebody who commented about something, but everybody's allowed to have their own opinions.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter who you are in the world, you're somebody else's Marmite.
Yeah, no, you're right. Yeah,
and that's just the way it is. But it's no big deal. Nothing can be Mary Poppins all the time, and hopefully you don't want it to be a horror story all the time as well. And at the end of the day, there's no ulterior motive in doing this other than
which is great because then people get out of it what they want to get out of it. Yeah, 100%.
There's no politics. Both myself and Salem, we decided no politics, no erring on one side or another. This is just about people, and then we've created
no children, no animals.
Exactly, yeah, and we've created a new set of concepts that are going to come up this year. So if they're well received and popular, then we'll carry on with them.
Yeah. That sounds good.
Do you want to know what the new concepts are?
You know what? Yeah, let's know what are the new concepts then.
Right. So I'll tell you. So we started off with people behind the positions.
Yeah.
And we've done that now, and we've got about another 12 episodes, I think. 12 episodes? 6. We've got 6 more to be done. Then basically we'll see whether or not we'll keep doing that. Then we've also now started on some other concepts. So one of the concepts that we're going to be doing is 6 of the best from 6 of the best. So what we're doing is we're looking at 6 young.
Yeah.
Okay, so that means you and me are not included in this. 6 young professionals who are in the industry who have got good opinions, good knowledge, good feedback. We're going to get 6 of the best from 6 of the best on 6 subjects. Okay, so we've already identified some of those 6. So one of them is Omar Hariri.
Yeah.
Young CEO of Saudi and also Sal.
Yeah.
So he was well received. He's a very clever young man. I've also got a personal interest in him because I taught him how to play golf. So he doesn't like to admit it, and he doesn't like to
you how to play golf?
No, I taught him.
No, who taught you how to play golf?
I learnt from a book, Tiger Woods. Okay, but Omar.
No, I think your book was called Lost in the Woods.
No. Deep down, Omar will always appreciate that. So if he listens to this, he'll have a little smile on his face, and he'll know that at the end of the day, I've improved his game. So he's one.
Yeah.
So and then we've got a young lad, Stephen Dixon.
Yep.
Okay, one of the smartest fellas I've met. Incredible. And he's really full of comment. never lost for a word, but very, very knowledgeable. And he's my tip for number 10 in the future.
Is he now?
Yeah, so I think he's one of Boris's boys, and I think he's going to be.
I thought you didn't talk about politics.
No, I'm not. It's just where I think
it's just
he's
a prediction,
a
political prediction.
It's just a prediction. And I think in, let's see how many years time, 10, 15 years, he's going to be in there somewhere. He's got so much to offer, and he's a genuine people's person. So he's another one.
That'd be good.
Then who else we're trying to get on? We're going to try and get Robert Fordry back.
Yep.
Okay. He's manifested himself into quite a polished performer. He's invested a lot in his wardrobe, so I feel that he should be given a chance. And it also gives me the chance to say
and his headgear as well.
Yeah. And also it gives me the chance to let him know what a great coach and mentor and agent I've been for him in his career. So I'll be able to keep winding him up on that one. So that's 3.
Yeah.
Who else were we looking?
Who else were you thinking of?
Looking at Martin Drew.
And also, does Rob Fordry fall in the young category?
Yeah, he does. He's one of those. He's one of the modern boys, and he uses a lot of moisturising cream and stuff, doesn't he? Then we got Martin Drew.
Yes, Martin Drew,
who
a good colleague of ours.
Yeah, he's a cracking lad. So he brings the good looks to the group.
Oh.
So if we manage to get them doing a little bit of
poster boy
modelling or posters or whatever, we'll get him in the forefront.
Get him on the poster boy.
Yeah. So that's 4.
Yeah.
Who are the other 2? So who are the other 2 that we've got pegged in to try and get on there? The young lad from the what's his name? He's got I've got a piece of paper here with his name. He's a good lad. Arpad Zaskal.
Where's he from?
He's from a company. He's from a company that they do quite an innovative way of developing people and recruiting people and placing them. But he's big time into leadership and transformation, and he's got an aviation legal background.
Excellent.
He's only 33, very, very articulate young man, and he cares with a passion, but he loves the industry.
Brilliant.
Loves flying, loves being around airports. And he was telling us that 2 weekends, can you believe it? He went to Argentina for the weekend, and he also went to go hiking in Hong Kong for the weekend. A weekend now.
Wow.
A weekend.
Jimmy, that's travelling. That's someone who does like travelling.
Yes, that's 5. Who's the 6th one?
Well, I'm saying that, the amount of travelling and hours you put in there, you could do a few weekends in China.
Yeah, I could do.
Argentina.
Oh, that's why
hiking.
That's why I look older than I am. Then there's who else were we thinking? I can't remember who else. We've got about 3 or 4 other potentials.
Yeah,
but they're just guys that I'd like to have on. And so the principle is that we will have 6 subjects, and they get 6 to 10 minutes on each subject each.
Yep.
So each episode will actually show what each one of the 6 thought about the 6 subjects and their comments, and then it'll run for 6 weeks.
Brilliant.
So we're going to do that one. Then we're going to do airport features.
Yeah.
So particular airports. So we did a little.
So these are the sort of areas that you're thinking about covering during the 2020.
2020.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So then we got airports. We started off with a session with Munich Airport, and we found it really interesting. So what we want to do is we want to do airports from a perspective of how can they influence everybody that's associated with that particular airport to enhance and improve the reputation and the desire to actually operate from that airport. So how do they influence all their tenants who have got facilities, whether it's offering duty free, whether it's offering handling services, ramp service, what sort of quality do they instill in that particular airport? So if a carrier's thinking, do I go to A, do I go to B, what would make them come to you? So we want to do that. Then we want to do behind the scenes, and we want to look at local heroes. So you mentioned earlier about we've done the session now with senior managers and stuff.
Yep.
We want to find the real local heroes in the organisations, and have people nominate people that we want to talk about. Like what's your daily job like? What do you get?
A day in the life of
a local hero. Yeah, somebody who's recognised as being one of the cornerstones or the real solid foundations of that particular company. and get recognition from their management. So what we're looking for is we're looking for top managers to actually nominate somebody, or from a person who just says, I work with Mr. X or Miss Y, and say these people represent the qualities of this company, and I would love them to get a feature, and then we'd like to do a feature with them.
So have you had indications from the people that you've had on the cast that that's something that they would be willing to...
Yeah. I think anybody that's positive is also positive about recognising good people in their organisation, and they'd be happy to do so.
Yeah.
And anybody who enjoys working with somebody, whether they like them, dislike them, or understand them, or socialise with them, they would be happy to give recognition to somebody who makes their life at work a lot easier. 100%. And it'd be nice to recognise people
it would be,
who've done a good job, you know.
Yeah. And for other people to listen and recognise, yeah.
And if you've been picked by your management or your colleagues, there's nothing better.
Oh, no, 100%.
Nothing better.
No, 100%.
So then we're going to do some live shows at the events.
Yep.
So we're going to do that. We've got a series of events lined up for next year, which covers everything really, from GSE to CNS to the World Cargo Symposium to the IGHC to the Cool Chain. So we're going to cover, and we're going to do live shows.
So they're going to be on the road, yeah.
Yeah. Whilst we're at the live shows, we're going to do some live ones there.
And then what about other things on the road? You got any other?
Yeah, we're going to do a GSA series, so we're going to get all the big GSAs and just identify, what's different, how things changed, etc. We're going to do an IATA people behind cargo.
Yeah.
So we're going to start with Glyn, and we're going to go down. We're going to cover obviously Brendan and Andre will get a big feature. Smart facilities will be included in that. Dangerous goods, because it's such a topical issue at the moment. So we're trying to get 8 people from IATA, including a man who I love his company and don't have the chance to spend enough with him. He's quite elusive, but he's got a great sense of humour. Nick Careen, so we're going to get him on as well. So we're going to do that.
Apart from them, though,
We've got a salesman's challenge coming up.
Oh yeah.
So what we're going to do is anybody who thinks that they can sell their company or their product in 6 minutes, with certain interruptions and challenges from me, and get through it, we want them to come on board. So they've got 6 minutes to sell.
So it's a form of speed dating, then, yeah.
Yes. Would you? Would you buy from this person? How well have they done? Yeah. So we're going to have all the noises and interruptions.
Good.
So we do that. We're going to do a section on private aviation.
Yeah.
And luckily enough, we're going to do a session on winners.
Okay. What does that mean? What does that indicate?
It's people who have got an I will attitude and who've got a desire to win that's above and beyond what most people would think they're capable of.
So is this in a sort of like a motivational way,
it's motivational and also recognition, and some of them, most of them are celebrities. So luckily enough, there's a few that are going to come on. I can't say who they are at the moment for
no spoilers, no spoilers.
But they're really good. They're really good.
Oh,
really looking forward to that. So that's a little bit different. And also, one of the questions we ask in them all is, what's their impression of the industry? Because obviously they some of them are sports people, so they've flown, they fly a lot, they go to different countries.
Yeah.
Some of them are entertainers, so they know what it's like. So they'll be giving us feedback on what their impressions are of the business, which is also good. Then we've got some key people that still have to come on. So I've got what I consider to be the 007 of the industry.
Go on.
So I won't say who he is, but hopefully we're having him on.
The new 007 or the old 007?
No, not the new, but if you were...
So you're not getting Sean Connery?
No. Sean Connery? No, goodness me.
Well, actually, my favourite is Roger Moore, but anyway.
Yeah, God bless him.
God bless him.
He's the only one who's dead, isn't he?
But, the good thing is we got his autograph.
Yeah, we have, haven't we?
I know.
Yeah, it's gone up in value.
Yeah, it's gone up in value.
No, but he's the only one, isn't he?
I don't know.
Are all the
George
others still?
Lazenby still?
No, he's still. I've seen an article about him. Yeah, he's still. Yeah. I think Roger Moore's the only one who's. Yeah. Shame, terrible. But it's a gentleman that I've always been impressed whenever I've met him, spoken to him, seen him perform, and interacted with him.
I'm already here.
No, not you, Ian.
Oh.
I said James Bond. James Bond, not Johnny English. And but he's someone that if everybody in the industry had to pick somebody that would be a 007 in it, I think they'd pick him. So looking forward to him.
Good.
Yeah, it's looking forward to him.
Good.
Then a couple of more comedian type characters within the industry. Great entertainment. So looking forward.
You're
to
going to
them.
have enough time.
No, looking forward to them. We got a young fella. He's an avid Italian football supporter, John Clark. So he's going to come back on.
Yeah.
So looking forward to that. And then we got some ladies as well who've really done well in the industry and
excellent.
So like Jenny Smith, Alex Doznier. I always have trouble pronouncing her name. Doznier.
You have to say it with a French accent. Doznier.
No, but she's done a great job at Donata. Really good. So yeah, so
it'd be good to hear from them too.
Yep. And then what we're going to do? You asked about feedback and stuff. We're gonna put a little survey out.
Yeah. On
the website for listeners' likes.
Okay.
So what would they like to? What would they
be
like
included?
To
be
included, or certain questions that they'd like to ask of the different sessions. So we'd like to do that. And then hopefully we're going to do a session in Saudi Arabia, which is a country with amazing changes going on.
Yeah. And
also some of the companies and some of the individuals that are in there. In fact, we're going to pump out a podcast that we did with a young lad, Mohammed Alambar, who works for Nakel.
Yep.
Which is a great e-commerce organisation over there. But he is such a positive, calm, quiet young man who I've seen grow over the last 6 to 9 months, and he's such a lovely lad as well. So we're going to put him on there.
That'll be interesting.
Yeah, and then there's another character in Nakel, Rajib, so he's going to come on as well. So we're going to do a little bit like that. We're going to do probably a follow-up with Omar and Teddy Zebitz with regards to how things have changed now that there's a separate identity on the handling side with Sal, which is the new ground handling organisation.
And you're going to do this in the kingdom, yeah?
Yeah. Want to do it in the kingdom? It's that's where it should be done. So,
yeah.
So no, that's something that we're going to do. So that's a little bit of an update on where we are and what we're going to do.
No, that's good. I mean, as far as predictions go for 2020, give me one prediction.
The only prediction I got for 2020 is Brentford's going to be in the Premiership. Brentford are going to get promoted this year
with their new ground.
At new ground, they're going to be promoted. Yeah,
which hopefully will still have the record of having a pub on each corner.
Yeah, Griffin Road.
That's what they've promised.
Yeah. Might not be on each corner, but it's going to be in the new development.
So what if it's round?
There's plenty of...
if it's round, say, stick a pub in the corner.
No, but have you been there? Have you seen...
No, I haven't seen the new one.
Have you seen it? It's fantastic, right?
Is it good?
Yeah. And the location as well.
I've actually seen the new Wimbledon one a couple of times now. My God, you wouldn't know you wouldn't know there's a football ground in there. It's covered by apartments.
Yeah. I think, wow, man, it's amazing what you can do.
No, it's good.
But no, Brentford are going to be there. Yep. Touch wood. Yep. So that'll and that'll surprise Nick.
Yeah,
the Fulham man.
Oh.
So I'll be looking forward to that. So Nick, tell you what, we'll have a little drink up at Brentford.
Good. So what about initial plans? When are you thinking of putting these out? Are you getting?
No, we've got a schedule. What we're doing now?
A schedule, yeah.
Yeah, we've got a schedule. We're putting it together now, and organising who's going to come on, when, where, etc. And like I said, touch wood, the interest levels are still very, very high.
Yeah.
And there's opportunities for companies as well to advertise, to sponsor people that are coming on, sponsor subject matter. So there's lots of permutations now of how people can get involved and how they can participate.
That'd be good. Have you had interest from people that have actually come to you, said we'd like to do?
Yeah. Honestly, seriously, lots,
oh,
and
So you have to try and fit them into the schedule, then, yeah. Yeah.
Well, we're going to make sure we fit them in because anybody, as you know, it's always better to get somebody who volunteers than press ganging people in. And
100%.
No, and it's nice. It's nice.
Yeah, 100%. That'd be the good thing about, like you say, when you go into the industry and try and get some of the grassroots people in as well.
Yeah.
Which would be nice for them to be not necessarily some of the on the volunteer side, as opposed to be like press ganged in to say, you know.
That's why we're doing it. That's why we're doing it. So
I know they'd be nominated, but it's nice to have sort of people say, actually, yeah, no, I'd like to go in and speak about
that's
my company or my industry or my level or my working day or whatever.
Yeah, well, that would be from the listeners' likes. So if somebody says that they'd like to come on and say what they think is right, what they think is wrong, what they think is good, what they'd like to see, etc., then we're open to that as well. Because at the end of the day, we just want to make some memorable moments for people and hopefully cover things that people are interested in, whether it's because they're in traffic or they can't sleep at night or whatever the reason is for listening. But no, it's just, and also have a bit of fun.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying, at the end of the day, if you can't have fun while you're working, then it's a sad it's a sad situation.
Yeah,
that's in a song somewhere, isn't it? Sad
is.
Situation.
Elton John,
is it? Well done.
I've just done Ken Bruce's question.
What?
Ken Bruce does a little quiz every morning.
Ken
listening
Bruce.
to.
Sorry, Ken. Didn't know who you were, my friend, but now I do. And so what's his question?
No, I'm just saying that was one. It's all about pop questions.
Ah, right.
Called Pop Masters.
What else is there?
For those who don't listen to radio too.
Oh, something else we're trying to put together, something we found which was amazing.
Go on.
Putting together a Cargo Nuts performing group.
Yeah.
And we're hoping that we can get them all together and that they'll perform at one of the conferences this year. So we got drummers, guitarists, accordion players, violinists, or I hope I didn't upset him by calling him a fiddle player, but he's a top violinist.
Yeah.
And we've got people who write their own music, their own scores. We've got singers.
Yeah. Any room for bongos?
Bongos. Who's talking about bongos? Oh, you play the bongos. Well, there you're in.
I'm practicing.
You're in. What did I say that? No, it's Brexit, wasn't it?
Brexit bongos? No, you're talking about Big Ben bonging.
Big Ben bong, yeah, that's it. Yeah,
no. This is bongos.
Yeah, so we're going to try and put that together and get them so that they practice. We're going to get a few.
That'd be good.
Yeah, but nice, simple music. Do you know what I mean? Nice sing-along music. A little bit of a surprise. The Cargo Nuts performing at such and such a conference. That'd be a right result, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it'd be good. Yeah.
And we got one of the guys from Eva who's a little bit of a Motown maestro, isn't he? Ooh. A little bit of a secret Barry White. Duncan.
Wow.
So Duncan, when you listen to this, my friend, this is a chance for you now to do a little bit of rehearsing.
Nice.
Yeah, no pressure, Duncan. But no, we got loads of people who are so talented. Yeah, it's amazing.
I know. It is amazing.
And you don't hear of them.
I know.
I was watching Bradley Walsh and his boy.
Oh, I've recorded that. Yeah,
and his young lad as well doing it on the old ukulele.
Yeah, there's some so many talented people out there. It's ridiculous. Yeah, but they've been brought up in it, so I mean they've got sort of plenty of time. But when you see someone in Cargo, there's a chap I used to work with at Dunwoody, or who works up in Manchester, Kevin, and he plays a guitar. Amazing guitarist.
Is he still there?
Guitarist. Yeah, he's still there, but he I think he's still there anyway. Still working for on the BA side. But we used to call him up and he'd have his guitar, then we'd say, Kev, while we're on the phone, then play a guitar, and he'd play a Beatles song on his guitar, or he'd play it. Yeah. And he does a bit of singing as well, yeah.
Give him a shout.
He's a good lad. Yeah.
Give him a shout. As long as anybody's in the
Andy McCardle. He works for Andy McCardle.
Does he?
Yeah.
No, give him a shout. Maybe we do a little Cargo X Factor before we we go
I'll nominate him. Yeah, I'll nominate him.
Yeah, I might write that down. Cargo X Factor. I wonder if what's her name would be interested to come on and be a judge. Amanda Holden. Amanda, if you're listening, girl.
It's funny how you picked her, wasn't it?
Hey?
It's funny how you picked her. You wouldn't have picked Simon Cowell or any others, would you?
No. For goodness sake, no. Amanda, if you're listening. Yeah, no. Yeah, so Cargo Nuts.
Good. Yeah, no, that sounds good.
Yeah, so. And it's a new decade, new year. You know, so hopefully, touch wood, a lot of good things will happen this year.
That sounds interesting. Sounds positive as well. Yeah, and the thing is as well, if the feedback is good and everybody's like interested, then you keep it going and just like expand it into different areas. I think about, I mean, the good thing about you thinking about going on the road.
Yep.
That becomes a really good concept of being able to get into a certain part of the operation of the industry to to do something there. Be interesting.
Yeah, and we're thinking of doing that so that like schools and career advisors can get to know it, and because most people don't talk about aviation as a career opportunity in schools.
Well, all they talk about is pilots and stewardesses, which is it's core. Everyone talks about core. They don't realise that anything goes on in the background.
Exactly.
No.
Yeah, and also to get people recognised. So
that is good.
But I think one of the most important things is to recognise the people that do it day in, day out, and without them, you don't have a business.
No, correct. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah. So. Yeah, there's a few senior executives that I want to come on because I think they're great. They're great speakers. They're great leaders.
As in motivational, or as
no, just key figures within the industry. There's a few that I'm going to reach out to, and hopefully they'll come on as well, and they'll see it of value.
Yeah.
So
that'd be good. That'd be good. That sounds as though you're going to be a busy boy for 2020.
So. Well, it all depends if Salem can make it. I mean, he's got his head in his hands now,
he's trying to warm himself up over the radiator.
His cold, yeah. He's a real Richard the Lionheart, isn't he? You got a little bit of a cold. God dear. Yeah, no. So that's basically it. And and also I was thinking we should do something.
Yeah, it sounds.
And Salem keeps saying, so maybe looking at the newspapers, two old
fogies.
Or there's a couple of other words that we could use beginning with F there, but
two old fogies, 60-year-old fogies. I know.
No, but also to give, just the business has been good to us, hasn't it?
It has been good to us, and that's what people don't appreciate. It's people look at it as an ugly business, because it's not sexy, and people have said that so many times over the years, haven't they? How do you attract people into the business? But for people like you say that have been in the business, it's very rare for them to move out. No, and it's given a lot of people a good living for their whole lives, really, from leaving school. Yeah. For those of us that didn't go to university, went straight into aviation from 16, 17.
Yep.
It's a long time to be in an industry and not move about that much either.
Life's academy.
Yeah.
But also the people that for me the nicest thing is all the people from all around the world, in so many countries that I know, so many different cultures, so many different differences.
Yeah.
But it's so lovely to get on with them and work with them.
But the common denominator being, like we said, is the industry.
Yeah.
Is knowing about the industry, and it's the same problems. It's the same trying to fix things. It's the same. It's the same achieving goals. It's so many things are the same and common denominators. That's why you can move around globally, like in this industry.
But that's why it should be a lot easier as well.
Oh, it should be.
Everything's the same, and everybody wants to do it differently. And everybody's got a different idea.
Yeah, but that's reinventing the wheel, isn't it? Like people in our industry, how many times do we try and reinvent the wheel?
Yeah. Simple, sustainable, but now being a little bit more innovative and creative, and not saying no, saying yes, I will.
Yeah.
Yes, I can. Yes, let's change. And
well, you've got to move with move with the times. It is moving with the times. It's a whole new generation of people and the way they work.
Yeah.
The tools that they use to do their job, the tools that they use to communicate, it's so different now.
Yep. Social media and everything else. Yeah.
And you've got to embrace it. You can't be negative about change. You've got to just embrace these things and just become silver surfers.
But it's also helping people learn and get better and enjoying making people better than they ever thought they could be.
But that's passing on that knowledge again. I mean, like we've said this, but we said that in the original podcast about people that the industry have lost, and the knowledge that those people have had that have been lost to the industry,
like lemmings,
because they haven't been that information hasn't been passed on, or that knowledge hasn't been passed on, that experience hasn't been passed on. It's so sad to see.
It is, isn't it? It is. But it's getting the balance between the people who've got the experience and are happy to give it back.
Yeah.
And the younger ones
who want
the experience, but are also mature enough not to think that the old boys are trying to tell them what to do. They're trying to help them with what they're going to do in the future.
Exactly.
One day, my friend, one day.
Yeah.
Right, so that's it. Do we sing? Do we
we sing?
We don't.
Do we cross hands and do Old Lang Syne?
No. I think it's just nice now. We wish everybody a new year.
Yeah, happy New Year.
Yeah, and thanks to every single person that's listened, even if it's only for 1 minute, even if you've looked at it, if you've liked it, if you've made comments. But thank you so much. And to every single person that's appeared on it, your valuable time, your input, your sense of humour and camaraderie and investment in the business has been absolutely exceptional. And thank you so much.
Hear, hear.
And all who sail on her. Right, thank you very much. And poor old Sardom, come on, son. Hey, you feeling better? Oh, my God. Here he is. Look, he can hardly come across the room. He's such a soldier. Right, thank you, everybody. End of the show. Look forward to seeing you all in 2020.